On to doing calibration of the laser to your bow and arrow setup. We've already mounted the sight to the bow, we've already sighted in at 20 yards very accurately, and we've aligned the laser to your line of sight. Now we need to calibrate. So what we need to do is enter the calibration mode. So you have to turn the unit on. So you have a dot, you have to hit the M button for mode. It's going to display a software version for a second, then it's going to show a AS1. That stands for Arrow Selection 1. There's 2 arrow selections. You can go up to program a second arrow selection or back down for number 1. We're going to select 1, which is the S button over here. Press that, and that says yes, we want arrow selection 1. Now it's showing an S for select small r range, select range 1. So anything that's at least 11 yards further than your first sight in, which is 20, so as long as you're at 31 yards or more, we're fine. We've got a target down range at 35 yards. We're going to select it and then shoot at it and see whether we need to recalibrate it. So we're at 35 yards. It's given us a suggested holdover. We're going to use that dot and see whether we're high or low. So we're about 1.5 inches or so low at 35 yards. So that's probably about 1 dot. We're going to go ahead and move this down 1 dot, and we can see that a new dot has appeared and moved down, and the old dot is now blinking. Okay, so that's a handy feature that tells us that you've put in 1 press of a button instead of, for instance, 2 or 3. I'll show you how you can keep going down, and this new dot will continue to go down as far as you need it to go to sight in. Okay, now I'm going to move this all the way back up to the blinking dot and just go down 1, because that's what we're going to want to try to use. So we'll try and confirm it here. Okay, so those look really good. What we need to do now is to save this selection. So we're going to hit the S button once to save that data point. So your very first select range 1 has been saved into the programming. Now you see SR2. We're going to select range 2 for our second one. We shot at 35 yards. Now our next target is 48, which is fantastic because it needs to be at least 11 yards more than your previous. So if it's 35, now you need to be at least 46. Let me show you what happens if you pick a target that's a little too close. We've got a target downrange here. It's 41 yards. Well, that's not at least 11 yards further, and it's giving you an error code. This is a small d, an S, and a sideways T. It means DST is distance is not far enough. So you need to range again. It also gives you a dot. Range that to where you can see. There it is. It's provided us a new aiming solution based on your last aiming solution. Okay, as we can see, those 2 shots at 48 yards were just a little bit low. So we're going to adjust the sight's suggested pin to 1 pin lower and then reshoot and see where that one hits. That should be pretty good because it was only about 1.5 inches low or so. Okay, well those 2 arrows were really good. So 1 dot down from the blinking dot is a really good calibration. All we have to do is hit the save button here, and the SR2 will be saved and trajectory calibration will be done. And that's all there is to it.